Hello and welcome to Bruce Springsteen Guitar Lessons. Today's lesson is going to be Shut Out the Light from Tracks. Thanks very much to subscribe star Max Winterhalter for the request. Hello and welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that walkthrough. So now what we're going to do is go through all the individual parts. Okay, so this song's in the key of E major. Tempo is approximately 125 BPM, give or take. Cool, so let's go through the chords first. So what we've got is an E5 power chord, which I think Bruce is doing. So here, I know Bruce has done this before, this kind of version of this chord. So little finger 4 fret G, then bar the 2nd fret and the A and the D strings. And just play those 4 strings. So I'm using my little finger there to block off the B, and 1st finger kind of to block off the high E string there. It's a really thick sounding chord. It's a really nice chord, this one. Now, if you leave your little finger there, and move your 1st finger to the 2nd fret of the D string, also kind of using my thumb to block the low E, but be careful when you do that. So this is an A+2 chord, so it's a nice kind of movement between the E5 and then A+2. So little finger 4th fret D, first finger 2nd fret D, so, and then open A string, so A stud, so it's really nice. Then you've got a B5 chord. Again, so this is a power chord, only contains 2 notes. First, the octave and the 5th. First finger 2nd fret A string, little finger 4th fret G, 3rd finger 4th fret D. Then block off the low E with your first finger, just touching it there. Use your little finger and your first finger to block out the other strings, so you can kind of almost not worry about your strumming hand and let your fretting can block out the unwanted strings. That's B5. You also got an A5 chord. So bar the 2nd fret on the D and the G, making sure that you're only playing 3 strings, A, D and the G strings. And then you also got an E5 as well. So 0, 2, 2, open E, 2nd fret A, middle finger, 2nd fret, sorry, 2nd fret D as well. Using so the E5 you bar with your first finger, then A5 you bar with your first finger. Cool, so it's only kind of 5 main chords, but also it's worth mentioning that in the kind of chorus sections and also in parts of the verses later on, you've got this kind of riff. So in the song structure, which I'll put up on the screen now, if you look at, say, the first chorus there, I've put A over C sharp and E over G sharp, okay? And although you're not playing an A over C sharp, you're going to be playing a riff that's pretty much emulating that chord. So what I mean by that is if you get your A5 chord and then put your 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the A string, you'll be doing this riff. So when you see that in the song structure, that basically means you're going to be playing some kind of A over C sharp riff. There's a few variants, but that's the main one there. So it'll just help you to kind of like, oh, okay, so this is going to be a riff coming up rather than the chord, okay? So an E over G sharp is basically the same thing, but kind of moved down. So technically it's an A5 over C sharp, E5 over G sharp, but I've just made it a little bit simpler, hopefully, for you in the song structure. So don't forget the song structures will always be in the description as well. So hopefully you find that useful for breaking down everything. Okay, so they are the chords. So you've got those 5 kind of main chords, and then in the kind of chorus and later in the verses, you've got these kind of sort of slash chords. So A over C sharp, and then E5, E over G sharp. Okay, cool. So they're the chords. So let's take a look at the kind of the main strumming pattern here. So also worth mentioning, so because I did a live stream yesterday, so due to time constraints, I'm only doing the main kind of acoustic part. So I have recorded or emulated a kind of 12-string guitar sound. I have tabbed that out on Guitar Pro and in PDF format. So if you would like to get hold of that, either head over to Subscribestar and you can get files sent to you on the 3rd of the month, or alternatively my new website is now out, jsmusicschool.co.uk, so you can get files from there as well. So you'll have the 12-string tabbed out and also the main guitar that we'll go through now. Okay, cool. So basically what you've got, it sounds like he's doing kind of a common downstrokes. There's a lot of downstrokes. It's pretty much downstrokes throughout the whole of the song. Bit more impact. So you start off with the intro. Basically it's 2 bars of the kind of 12-string thing. So you're basically resting for 2 bars and then you come into the first verse, and basically what you've got is quavers or 8th notes. So they basically last for half a beat each. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But I think what you want to do is basically slightly palm mute. You don't want to be going, you know, you're slightly palm muting the chords here, and also probably not palm muting on the end of 2 and the start of beat 4. Okay, so it's a really kind of common strumming pattern. So what I'm going to show you is I've played that 1-bar phrase, and the idea is you're palm muting 1 and 2, and then kind of not palm muting on the end of 2, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So think of it, you can think of it as an accent, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 It just sounds really nice. You can also accent the 1 as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So once you've got that strumming pattern, that's really, you don't want to be doing everything the same, you know, velocity. Getting that nice kind of rhythm, percussive kind of thing going, it will sound really nice. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you're dulling down using the fleshy part of your hand, making sure the notes are still ringing, but you're getting some nice dynamics in there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So basically the way the first verse works, you've got 2 bars of that E5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, and then A sus2, so just move that first finger down, block the low E, and then E5, and then E5 for 2 bars, and then B5 for 2 bars, and then E5, A sus2, back to E5, then E5, B5, and A sus2 for 2 bars. So okay, quite straightforward. Again, the backing track I've made for this, I've put the kind of 12-string guitar on there. So even though I haven't got a 12-string, what I actually did is I basically did something around here. And then I basically put a capo on the 7th fret, and it basically did the same notes but an octave higher. If you're interested in how I did that, I might have to get a 12-string possibly in future just to alleviate that problem, because the idea is with the 12-string you've got that kind of, you've got a low E, you know, you've got lots of octaves going on basically, the way that the tunings work. You know, you have a pair, you have a high E, low E, lots of different kind of pitches. So yeah, hopefully I got that kind of sound on the backing track in the walkthrough. And yeah, definitely if you want to get the tabs for that, go to the website jsmusicschool.co.uk or head over to Subscribestar and you can request the files to be sent out on the 3rd of the month. Cool, so that's the first verse. So we've done the intro, first verse, and now the second verse. This is where the tambourine comes in on beat 4. This is just a slightly shorter verse. So it starts off pretty much the same. The first 12 bars are the same. Okay, so just go through the second verse. You've got E5. Again, don't forget to check the song structure. A sus2, E5, then 2 bars of E5, then 2 bars of B5. Again, I would break everything down into kind of groups of 4 chords at a time to help you manage it better and remember it. E5, 2 bars, A sus2, and then back to E5. So same as the first verse, but now the last line of the second verse is just E5, and then 1 bar of B5, and back to E5. Cool, so that's the intro, first verse, and then second verse. Okay, so let's take a look at the chorus sections. Okay, so the first chorus, what you're going to do is going to play an A5 power chord. Okay, and we're going to do 3 downstrokes. These are all quavers or 8th notes, so 1 and 2. Then he's basically got these melodies. This is a new melody that's happening. It sounds really nice. So, and then you're going to do this kind of A over C sharp kind of thing. So 1 and 2, and then use your 3rd finger to hit the 4th fret of the A string 3 times. So 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then basically for the last 2 quavers or 8th notes, you're basically just hitting the D and the G strings. Okay, so you've got this really nice melody. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, be careful with the velocity. You're not really palm muting this bit, but again, you don't want it to be too overpowering. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, maybe a little bit of palm muting. And you basically do the same kind of thing, but move to the E5. And I use my, at the end, again, don't hit this note too loud, I don't think, for a lot of it. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this last note there is the 4th fret A string. Okay, don't hit it too hard because you don't want it to be too overpowering. This note here, so quite soft. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and And then basically those 2 bars you loop together 3 times, okay? So I'll just do that. So this is the first part of the kind of first chorus. A5 or A over C sharp, then E5. And then do that 3 times. Again, and then you do a bar of B5, same as before that we had in the verses. And then you go back to the E5, E over G sharp pattern. Then go back to A5, then E5, that E over G sharp pattern, and then A5. And then you've got a split bar, so it sounds like he's doing 1.5 beats of B5. So 3 strums, 1 and 2, and then for the rest of the bar, this is a split bar, so you'll see this in brackets in the song structure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, 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 down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then another bar of E5. Cool, so let me just play the whole of this first chorus section. So 3 rounds of these 2 bars, second time round, third time round, B5, then the E over G sharp bar, A over G, C sharp bar, E over G sharp bar, then back to the A over C sharp bar, B5, E5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool, so that's the first chorus. So then what we're going to do is just look at this structure. So again, keep referring back to the song structure here. Let's go through the second chorus. We've just got a slightly different structure here, okay? So, so the first chorus, second chorus, so actually they're the same in terms of structure. So that's pretty good. So yeah, first chorus and second chorus exactly the same. Just do what we just did there. Then the third chorus is different. So okay, so it's basically longer in the middle and it's cut short at the end, okay? Before the outro and that awesome harmonica solo. So let me just go through the third chorus. So first and second are the same in terms of structure. Again, he might vary up some of those riffs slightly from time to time. It's got a very kind of live feel to it. Probably didn't do too many takes and just sort of, did loads of takes and, you know, picked the best one. So yeah, let's go to the third chorus. So basically the third chorus, you're going to do those 3 bars 3 times again. So a second time round, third time round, and the B5, and then the E over G sharp again. And then you're going to go to, now the next 2 bars, you're basically just going to do twice, okay? So although we only had them once round in the first chorus and second chorus, we're now going to do these next 2 bars twice. So then you do it again. And then you do the A over C sharp bar again. And then the split bar. But without the extra bar of E5 that you had in the first chorus and the second chorus. Cool, so they're all the chorus sections. Okay, so let's now take a look at the third verse. So the first 8 bars of the third verse are the same as the first and second. So let's just quickly go through that. So 2 bars of E5, A sus2, E5, 2 bars of E5, and 2 bars of B5. Then basically what's happening is that the chords we just learned in the chorus, the E over G sharp, A over C sharp, you're basically doing those now instead of just standard strumming power chords. So let's just go through the rest of the third verse. So you're going to do the E over G sharp bar for 2 bars, then A over C sharp for 1 bar, back to E over G sharp for 1 bar, and then E over G sharp for 1 more bar, B5 for 2 bars this time, and then E5 or E over G sharp. Cool, so I'm just going to play the second, sort of the last 8 bars of the third verse. So E over G sharp, or E5 over G sharp for 2 bars, A over C sharp, A over G sharp, E over G sharp, 2 bars of B5, then E over G sharp. Cool, so that's the third verse. Now in the fourth verse you've got some slight variations here. So there's 2 bars here in the song structure. Again, keep double checking this. So the fourth verse is where there's no 12 string guitar until kind of the last sort of few bars. Again, check the tab if you ever get that on Subscribestar or the website. So the last bar of the first line of the fourth verse there, the last bar, you do something slightly different. Okay, you've got E5, just normal E5 without the little finger. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I've called that E5 for the first half of the bar, and then you've got this kind of the G sharp note for the end of the bar. So again, same rhythm, quavers, 1 and, or eighth notes, 1 and 2. So 3 strums, down strokes with E5, 1 and 2. Then 3 strikes with the A and the D string, and 4 and. So that's where you're going to be playing the A and the D string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4th fret lower E for the last 2 notes of the bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Definitely sounds like he's doing something like that in the 4th verse. So I'll play the first line of the 4th verse now. So E5 for 2 bars, and then A sus2, and then this new bar. And for the next bar, he does that again. And then a whole bar of E5. And 2 bars of B5. And then you go back to your normal E over G sharp kind of riff. The 2 bars. Then A sus2 chord this time. And back to the E over G sharp. E over G sharp. B5 for 2 bars. E over G sharp. Cool, so let me just play the whole of the 4th verse. Okay, so E5, 2 bars, A sus2, the new bar again, E5, B5 for 2 bars, E over G sharp, or E5 over G sharp. 2 bars, A sus2, power chord this time, strumming, E5, E over G sharp, sorry. Then B5, 2 bars, E over G sharp. Cool, so that is the 4th verse. Okay, so let's now take a look at the outro section. So this is where you've got a cool harmonica solo at the end of the song. Okay, so basically it starts off very much the same as the chorus. So you've got the 3 rounds of the 2 bar phrase, A over C sharp, E over G sharp, 3 times. Then the 3rd round, then B5, and the E over G sharp. And then you've got A over C sharp, E over G sharp, and A over C sharp. So this is where it's starting to sort of slow down. So, you know, don't be too kind of hit it too hard. Probably soften, quieten down a little bit here. So it's starting to kind of fade out. So last bar of A over C sharp. And it's kind of like a, again, nice slow ending. So what I've suggested in the tab here is just to do 2 B5s, 1, 2, but kind of a slow ending, so it's not really exactly, you know, crotch hits or quarter notes. You're going 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's cool. So that's all the parts. Hopefully you find that useful. Don't forget to cross-reference with the walkthrough tab. Again, you can slow it down using the cog icon on any YouTube video. And obviously cross-reference with the song structure in the description as well. Thanks very much for watching and tuning into the channel. Please give it a big thumbs up if you liked the video and got some value out of it. Any comments or suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments section below. Please also subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications if you haven't already. If you'd like to get access to the tabs that you see on the screen here, so these are all done in an amazing program called Guitar Pro. So I do all the tabs in there. Also, you know, for example, for this song, I've got the extra 12-string guitar on there, so you can sort of practice both, or practice the rhythm guitar while you can hear the 12-string in the background. You can also get the tabs in guitar tab PDF format as well. So you can get these either on subscribestar.com/Bruce Springsteen guitar, and also you can get access to sort of guitar solo videos. There's about 15 or 16 that I've done under the last year since I set up Patreon and Subscribestar. So you can get those. You can also get access to extra tabs. So during this breakdown part of the lesson, I do another video of this, but with also so use this video and then also put extra chord diagrams and tabs, so you can get that on the Bruce Legend tiers over on Subscribestar. If you weren't interested in kind of subbing, paying like a monthly thing, there's no contract or anything. You can also get one-off files via my new website, jsmusicschool.co.uk. So you can get just one-off files if you wanted to. Just go on to jsmusicschool.co.uk, go to the shop, and you've got 3 categories. So click on the boxes and that will just bring up all the files in alphabetical order, and you can download them straight to your computer. So any questions about any of that stuff, just pop me an email via the contact page on the website, or yeah, message me in the comments below. So thanks very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll stay tuned for the next one. Cheers, bye.